I'm convinced Tony Soprano is invincible. Nothing can really keep him down but his own family, specifically Uncle Junior. And I'm not even just including the fact that he is the boss of New Jersey. Like, him having his crew behind him, that's regular. That's expected. Him having Gumars, that's cool. That's pretty much expected in that life. But the way he get out of a jam is so crazy. The feds came to Johnny Sack's house. He took one glance, and now my boy took off. Including the way he treats people too. Like, he always putting his hands on somebody, whether it be his own flesh and blood or just members of his crew. Some of them deserve it. Like, specifically the guys that do whatever they can to try to get up in the ranks. And the whole time they just start fucking up. Honestly, I'm surprised at Tony. With all this aggression, he's still
had the makings of a varsity athlete. Wow.
Like Ralph, for example. This motherfucker Ralphie was a junkie and a certified crash out. And it's so funny because it's like one bad thing after the next. First, what he did to Tracy. And then what he did to Pilemai. Even though Pilemai was the last straw, he was still upset about Tracy. He saw Tracy like a daughter, because she was like around the same age as Meadow. To be honest, I'm really surprised he lasted longer than Richie Aprile. He did have some funny moments.
Eat beef and sausage by the fucking carload.
Coco, another case of fuck around and find out. Bad enough he's saying creep shit, but he's saying creep shit to the boss's daughter.
Alright, we got it.
Not gonna lie, I thought Febby had a chance. This scene was definitely wild as fuck. I did not expect that, because like with Tony's heavy ass breathing, I thought he would have hurt him. But what he did to the young guy that looked like Mr. Clean was crazy, just to show that he's still feared and respected. But come on now. After getting shot in the stomach, you spent mad time in the hospital, almost died. Within maybe a day of you like being able to leave, you get into a fight with a nigga and win? Oh nah. Like, yo, had this nigga laid out on the ground. Not gonna lie, that whole shit was pretty unrealistic. Yo, he tossed him to the fridge and won the fight. But I'm just glad the last fight after him being shot was realistic, because man, Bobby beat the shit out of him. And it was deserving, because I'm not gonna lie, this nigga Bobby, especially when he first got on the show, was the butt of every joke.
I think it's time for you to start to seriously consider salads. What do you mean? What do I mean? I mean, get off my car before you flip it over, you fat.
Glad that in the later seasons, Bobby became more respected, even becoming underboss for the family. He marries Tony's sister, and she's also the butt of every joke. Puts Bobby in a really trying position, because having to hear your brother-in-law talk bad about your wife constantly and make fun of her is pretty wild. But the cabin was the last straw. Tony got rocked. And now we know, two things that can keep Tony down is Bobby Bacalieri and Uncle Ben's rice. I think some of Tony's most OP moments are when he survives hits and car accidents. Tony is clearly in his own world right now. He had enough time to react, get in the car, disarm one of them, turn a gun on one of them, get them killed, and almost escape. It's no way Mikey thought these were the best guys for the job. Junior really made him consigliere. That's crazy. All he is his bitch. The one thing that will always just throw me off is whenever he's in a car accident. It's always some bullshit. He's been in 4 accidents.
Boy, ain't no way.
The first one, not really his fault. Botched hit that he got out of. Alright, cool. Got a couple bruises. The radio wasn't working right. My man started crashing out. Pretty minor. Nothing really special. This shit was definitely funny as fuck, though, I ain't gonna lie. The third one, I'm not gonna lie, I really felt bad for Adriana. This, like, leading up to her death, it was wild. FBI on her ass, this nigga beating her up, and then this fucking car accident. Shit was crazy. But this last car accident was pretty sad, because I liked Christopher. He was one of my favorite characters on the show, but honestly, he lasted longer than expected. Him, Ralph, and Paulie lasted a little too long, in my opinion. He really had no arc. The way he ended the show is literally the way he started the show, driving for Tony. And even though Tony is like one of the reasons he even relapsed in the first place, after he saw that car seat, he had to go, sadly. That car flipped over so many times, and all he got is a rosy face. The late James Gandolfini did an amazing job portraying Tony Soprano, giving us one of the greatest performances in television history. For 6-7 seasons, he showed us just how complex Tony is, and low-key how invincible he is as well, until it all cuts to black.